Hi all. This video deals with the sixth module of CS 368 Web Technologies of the sixth semester K2 syllabus, and this deals with Introduction to PHP. PHP is a server-side scripting language. Moving to the syllabus contents, we'll be understanding the basics of PHP, and the students will be able to develop PHP codes to do server-side validations. These are the syllabus contents: origin and uses of PHP, syntax characteristics, primitives, operations and expressions, control statements, arrays, functions, pattern matching, form handling, cookies, and session tracking. These are the objectives and outcomes defined. The students will be able to develop web applications using PHP on completion of this module. Before going to the contents, here are the prerequisites for this module: HTML, CSS and JavaScript. These three are known as the cornerstones of web development. JavaScript we already learned in module 4, which is a client-side scripting language. On the other hand, PHP is a server-side scripting language. So here's a YouTube link to install SAM server. You can use any servers like WAM server or any other server to execute your PHP scripts. Or you can use the online editors provided by Write PHP Online, Tutorials Point, W3 Schools, etc. Also, regular expression testing can be done using this link. So I have installed SAMP in my system. My SAMP is installed in C folder. So here is my SAMP control panel. I'm going to start the Apache server here. So just click the start button. Now your Apache server is started, and now moving on to the browser, I can type here localhost and check if my local server is running or not. So now currently my local server is running fine, and I have saved all my files within in my C. I have installed SAMP. So inside SAMP, there is a folder called htdocs. Inside htdocs, you can create any folder of your own. Here is my folder, and inside this folder you can save your PHP files. So this is your local server, and you can access it using the index provided by this. So type your, after localhost, type your / type your folder name. So here, this is my folder. On just clicking that, you will be getting an index. You will be accessing the files from this index. This is how you work with a local server. Moving back to the presentation, we will be learning the basics of PHP first, its origin, features and modes. As I said before, PHP is a server-side scripting language which is embedded within HTML tags. It is open source, widely used and free. It's a powerful tool for making dynamic and interactive web pages. The first version was released in 1994 by Rasmus Lerdorf, and it was initially created as a tool to track visitors to his personal website. 1995, a personal homepage tools, which is first abbreviation of PHP, personal homepage. It became the first publicly distributed version of PHP, and later it was known in the name Hypertext Preprocessor. A PHP file is stored in the extension .php generally, or .php3 or .html, and it is used at the server side for mainly form handling and database access. Database access is one of the important aspects in PHP, but it is not there in our syllabus. PHP support almost 15 different database systems. It also support email applications. We get support for POP3 and IMAP protocols. It also support distributed object architectures like COM and CORBA, and also it's an alternative to CGI, ASP, JSP, etc., which are other server-side scriptings. Comparing PHP and JavaScript, the first difference is like PHP is server-side script and JavaScript is client-side. So JavaScript is visible to the client at the client side from the browser, but PHP script is executed and only the output is given back to the user. It is not visible to the users. Then similarities between these two languages, they both are purely interpreted. When the browser finds some code, it will be calling its JavaScript interpreter to understand the meaning, and JavaScript file is saved as .js format. On the other hand, at the web server, the PHP script is executed and the web server will be calling a PHP processor and it will be executing the .php files at the server side. Most of the web servers has a PHP processor, and in certain recent systems we have some options for pre-compilation of complex scripts so that the interpretation time is reduced. Syntax and semantics of both are very closely related, only that the PHP variable names must start with a dollar symbol. PHP uses dynamic typing. As in JavaScript, the data types will be assigned to the variables at the runtime only. They take the type of the value being assigned to the variables. And both are much forgiving than the normal programming languages like C or C++. And PHP processors are free and easily obtainable, similar to JavaScript processors. It is open source also. Now we will be moving on to how a PHP processor works. There are two modes of operation for a PHP processor. First one is a copy mode and second one is a interpret mode. The input for a PHP processor is a PHP file, that is .php file, and the output that it produces is an HTML document. The first mode is a copy mode. Copy mode just copies the markup code or client-side script like JavaScript to the output file directly. It simply copies that to the output HTML file. On the other hand, interpret mode works when it encounters a PHP script in the input file. Then it will be interpreting that and only the output of that script will be sent to the output HTML file. So the output is purely HTML. It may not be showing any of the PHP script, but it will be showing you the client-side JavaScript part. We'll see an example of this copy mode and interpret mode. We can use any editors to work with. So I'm using Sublime editor here. Here is my first PHP program. You can see the name here, first.php. This is a PHP file and you can see it is a mix of HTML and scripting. So these all, initially it is starting with HTML tags. So all the markups, as we see, all the markups will be copied to the output file using the copy mode. But on encountering a PHP script, this is an example of PHP script. So this script starts with a delimiter, angle bracket, question mark PHP, and it ends with a question mark, angle bracket. And all the scripts will be included inside this delimiters. So whatever you find inside this is a PHP script. Whenever a PHP interpreter finds this starting delimiter, it will be shifting from the copy mode to the interpret mode, and it will be executing the code, and only the output will be sent to the browser. So here I am assigning a variable with a value Joe. So you can notice here the variables in PHP will be starting with a dollar symbol. All other rules are similar to what you studied in JavaScript. Only that you should precede all the variable names with a dollar symbol. Now again it will move back to copy mode over here, because these are all HTML parts. These tags will be directly copied to the output, and here again it will move back to interpret mode as it encounters the start of a PHP program. So here is an output. So echo statement is a way to output the data to the HTML file. Echo is similar to print statement and all. In PHP we have three output modes. One is echo, print and printf. So echo, within quotes I will be sending an output hello $name welcome. So what happens here is this $name will be replaced with the name Joe, and that will be displayed in the browser. Again at the end of the script it will switch back to copy mode, and it will just copy the remaining things to the output file. Now we'll see how the output will look like. I'll go back to my SAM server index. My first.php is displayed here. See the output, hello Joe welcome. So that variable is replaced with the name Joe, which was given earlier. We'll just inspect the source code. So view page source. So you can see here it contains only HTML and script, JavaScript part. So here till body, this is copied from my input file. Then the script, ignore this is automatically added in my browser. So from H1 onwards, again it contains only HTML. So you can see here no PHP is visible, only the output hello Joe. It is directly the value given by the PHP processor. Only the output is given to the HTML page. So this illustrates how copy mode and interpret mode works. So hope you're clear with that. So this output file will be sent to the browser and it will be displayed. Users can see only the output HTML and script part. No PHP is visible to the users. PHP, this is the official site for PHP. You can refer that. Now we will see why PHP. One reason is it runs on different platforms like Windows, Linux, Unix, etc. It is compatible with almost all the servers that are used today like Apache, IIS, etc. We are free to download it from the official PHP site, and it's very easy to learn and runs efficiently on server side. These are the unique features of PHP. PHP arrays can be either indexed arrays or associative arrays. Associative arrays, indexed arrays are indexed with normal 0, 1, 2, etc. as we see in any arrays. But associative arrays, we have a hashed array or a key value array where we can store our own keys and retrieve value using those keys rather than 0, 1, 2 indexes. Then it has a large collection of predefined functions. It supports both procedural and object-oriented programming, and it has extensive library of functions available. Moving on to PHP syntax, we have already seen this in the first example. We'll be seeing more on it, how to include PHP in HTML. PHP script can be embedded in HTML documents. We have already seen that. Or it can be separate files that are referenced by HTML. That we will be seeing in form handling part. Embedded PHP script is enclosed within this delimiter, angle bracket, question mark PHP and question mark PHP. With that, the script ends. The script is embedded within these delimiters. Sometimes if in a different file, we can use the include construct to use this PHP file as a parameter within another file. This is a format of using that include within simple bracket. We can give the PHP code file name. So if you use the include construct, your code which is written in this mycode.php will be copied to the source document. All the entire content. So this will be operating only in copy mode and it will be just copying the contents. All statements in PHP are terminated with semicolon and all variable names, as I've shown, it begins with a dollar symbol. The naming rules are similar. It begins with a letter or underscore followed by any number of letters, digits, underscores, etc. PHP variable names are case sensitive. So if you write capital ABC and small abc, both are different. But reserved keywords, remember this, reserved words like if, for, while, do while, etc. So these things, and inbuilt function names are case insensitive. Inbuilt function names and reserved words in PHP are case insensitive. So this while is equivalent to this while in PHP. But if this is a variable name, suppose ABC, this ABC and ABC are both different in PHP. These are some examples of reserved words in PHP. And else, if, list, switch, this, true, etc. Can go through this. Now the comments in PHP can be the normal double slash comments, or it can also start with a hash symbol. So PHP comments, single line comments can proceed with a hash symbol too, and multiple line comments are quite similar with a slash star and star slash it ends. Braces are used to create compound statement as in loops and block statements. Then in case of functions also we can use braces. PHP file is saved as file name .php. So this is the commonly used extension. First .php we have already seen this hello Joe welcome example. Another example is this example. We have first variable txt1 and the second variable txt2. I'm trying to output this variables. Echo statement is used for giving the output. So $text1 dot space dot $text2. So here dot is used as a concatenation operator. Dot operator is the concatenation operator to concatenate two or more strings. So here the first one is hello, along with a space world is also printed. So here are the outputs for the same. Now we move on to the example of include files. So include files are generally used if you want to incorporate some common menu into some n number of other pages. I'll show you the example. So I have a menu file here which start with an HTML page body, and I have a heading with the name of the institution and another subheading with the name of the department. Then I have a link which gives the institution website address. So I want this part to be included in all the pages which I have. So this file is named as menu.php, and I'm going to include that in include.php file. So this is the format. Give the PHP delimiter. So inside this PHP identifiers, I am just using the include construct. Include simple bracket. I have to give the name of the file. And then the remaining parts you can write over here. So here I have one more paragraph, then a closing body tag and closing HTML. So what happens, as we have explained before, all these contents, whenever the PHP processor sees an include construct, it will just copies the content of this menu.php. So whatever is written here, this will be directly copied and included in this location. and the final output we'll see that. So my index, so this is my include.php. If I click on this, I can see the top part is added from the included file, and it also contains other paragraph which I have written in the current file. So in this way include construct operates. So example is given over here. Hope that is also clear. Now we move on to primitives, operations and expressions. PHP primitives are of different categories. We have 4 different scalar primitives which are Boolean, integer, double and string. We have 2 compound primitives which are array and object, and 2 special types, resource and null. Out of this we will be studying these 4 scalar type and array. Variables in PHP, as in JavaScript, they are dynamically typed. They will be assigned the value as per the assigned value. If suppose x is a variable and if I give it a value 10, then that will be an integer. If I give a value ABC, then that will be taken as a string. So it will be, the data type will be set when it is assigned with a value. An unassigned variable is known as an unbound variable. It has the value null. And unbound variables in expressions have their value coerced to 0 if the context is an integer. So the normal coercion happens, and in an integer context it will be given a value 0. This null will be assigned with a value 0, and in a string context it will be assigned with a null string or empty string. We can test the variables using isset function to check whether it has a value or not, and isset will be returning a boolean value. So if here I have written is capital and s as small, so directly we can write all as small letters. We already learned that inbuilt functions in PHP are case insensitive. So if the variable has a value, it will return true, and if it does not have a value, it will be returning false. So for example, $fruit is one variable, is set $fruit. This is the syntax of using it. It returns true if it has a value, otherwise it will be false. The variable can be reassigned with other values, or it can be unassigned. We can use unset operator. In PHP there is another operation called unset function. This unset function can be used to remove the values from any or pre-bound variables. Here is an example of variables in PHP. I have a string variable. Why it is a string variable? Because it is assigned with a string value hello. I have another $num which is an integer variable. It is assigned with a value 5, and I have one more variable undef which has which is not assigned with any value. So this is unbound and it will be having null value, and I'm going to test it with the isset function. So these are just echo statements which prints this. You can see the output string hello number 5, and finally this I am testing it with the isset function. Echo variable is set if it is having some value. You can see here undef is not having any value here, so variable is not set, will be printed. This is how you use variables in PHP, and you can test whether the value is assigned or not. Error reporting can be done in PHP. So default level is 7. We can give the level specified within braces. Error underscore reporting, that is a function used for that. Now moving on to the data types. First, integer and double types. PHP integer type is known as integer, and it is equivalent to the long type of C, and word size is 32 bits. Double literals include a decimal point or an exponent or both. So generally represented by capital E or small e followed by the integer value. Then in PHP we can have decimals without any value after the decimal point. It will be a decimal, but it will not be having any value after the decimal point. That means a number like this is a valid decimal, 345 dot. If it is having a dot here, it will be treated as a decimal. It does not, we don't have to worry if it has a value after the decimal point or not. So both this is of course a decimal, but this is also treated as a decimal in PHP, and it corresponds to double type in C. String type, moving on to this, there is no character type. Generally, we in C and all, we have a single character type which is represented by single quotes. In PHP, there is no character type. Everything is represented as strings. Characters are single byte characters. So single character in PHP is represented as a string itself with a length of one character. So it can be included inside single quote or double quote. There is no difference. We can either use single quote or double quote. In case of double quoted string has certain privileges. In case of double quoted string, escape sequences like slash and slash t etc. Will be recognized, and they will be used in giving output to the HTML, and all the embedded variables are replaced by their current values. That is the main difference between using a single quote and double quote. If we use double quotes, the variable values will be replaced. We have already seen in the first example that name is replaced with $name is replaced with the name Joe. So such a substitution is known as interpolation. But in single quoted string, escape sequences are not recognized and the values of embedded variables are not substituted. So these are the main two differences between a double quoted string and the single quoted string. I'll show you the example. So here I'm using single quotes, and within single quotes I'm writing the sum is $sum. So usually this $sum will be suppose if it has a value 10.2, the output will be represented in, if it is given in double quotes, it will be interpolated and this value will be substituted here. But if it is single quotes, this output will be exactly as it is typed. This value will not be substituted with it with 10.2. So that is the difference. If we purposefully don't want to interpolate, if in case of a double quoted string, if we don't want to interpolate the string, you have to use a slash like this. The sum is slash sum. So in such scenarios, it will not be interpolated. If the variable which is not set to a value is embedded, then the name is replaced with an empty string. Just a space, empty string will be incorporated in that area, and the length of the string is limited only by the memory available. You can have any length for your string variable. Boolean type is quite similar to what we have already studied. True or false are the two possible values. An integer expression, if it is used in a Boolean context, it evaluates to false if it is 0. All other values will be taken as true. Only 0 will be taken as false. If we use a string expression, only the empty string or one more string will be taken as false. That is the string like this. Within double quotes, if you write a 0, such a string is also taken as a value false. That also will be given a false value. All other values will be true. The string 0.0 also implies true value. So remember this, empty string or a string of 0 within the double quotes, those two will be interpreted as false value. 0.0 is the only double value which is interpreted as false. All other values will be evaluated to true. These arithmetic operators and expressions are common as we have studied in JavaScript. We have all the operators like plus, minus, star, slash, mode, plus, minus, etc. They give plus, minus and star produces integer result. if all the operands are integers. So you must remember this. Only if all the operands are integers, this results will be integers. Otherwise, it will be double values. If you want to use it, get the exact integer value and all, you have to typecast the values. So if integer division is done, the result is not an integral value. The result is a double value always. Modulus operation, the operands are coerced to integers if they are not. If we try to do the modulus with some double values, it will be automatically coerced to the corresponding integer values. And there are a set of predefined integer functions. These are the examples: floor, ceil, round. These three are familiar for us. Floor will give the integer that is less than the corresponding number. Ceil will give the smallest integer greater than or equal to the parameter, and round will just round off the value to the nearest integer. Then other two values, srand and rand. Srand initializes a random number generator with the parameter, and rand will be generating, rand has two parameters, and it will be generating a random number which is greater than the first parameter and smaller than the second parameter. So if we give 1 and 100 as two values, it will just generate any value that is greater than 1. That means from 2 on to 99, it can give any value randomly. So it is just a random number generator. Then absolute, min and max are commonly used as in any math concept. So these are the available numerical functions in PHP. So I'll show an example. I have two numbers, $n1 is equal to 15 and $n2 is equal to 25. So sum is just adding two numbers, the sum is equal to 40. Then these are the math functions in PHP. Floor of 2.56 will be 2. Ceil of 2.56 will be 3. It will be the next upper value. Round of 2.56 will be 3. If it was 2.36, it will be 2. So here I have, for generating random numbers, I have given two values, 20 and 50. So it will give any value between 20 and 50. That is, currently I am getting 23. If I execute randomly, I will be getting some other value. Then absolute value of negative 2.75 is 2.75. In max and min, we can give a set of values within brackets. So here you can see max value is 9. So this is the output. So here min value is 1. So here is the output. So these are the math functions in PHP. Moving on to the string operations and string functions. Concatenation operator, we have already seen it is a dot symbol. So string variables can be used like arrays. That is one advantage. String variables can be used like arrays. We can use just the index value starting from 0, and with braces after the variable's name, you will be retrieving the value. For example, str, $str, I am giving the value yellow. If I give $str of 4, it will be O. So here yellow will be, Y will be 0th at 0th index, 1, 2, etc. And finally, this is the 4th index. So see the syntax here. We will be using a square bracket, curly braces, not the square bracket. Here we will be using curly braces to include the index for a string. It is not the square bracket as we use in arrays. So name of the array, name of the string, along with in curly braces you can see indexes starting from 0, and you can retrieve the corresponding letter. So these things will be applicable in some programming. So here is another example. Here 0th index will be having A and 4th index it will be E. Again, PHP also have certain string functions. strlen, its parameters is string. Of course, what will be the result? It is the total number of characters in the string. strcmp is used for string comparison. Again, the parameters will be two strings. So read the output part. It returns 0 if two strings are identical. If both the strings are same, it will be return value will be 0. negative number if the first string before the second, that is if before the second in the ASCII sequence. If the first string is lower and second string is higher, then the negative value. A positive number if the second string belongs before the first string. Then strPos function will be giving the position of the string. So the parameters will be two strings. So first one, so of course we have already seen that there is no character value in PHP. So the character position in the first string of the first character of the second string. If the second string is in the first string, false, it will be returning the position. It will be returning false if it is not there. If the second string is not in the first string, it will be returning the false value. So we have two string values. First, I'll show the example. Then substring. Substring will give the string starting with a given index. So we have two parameters, a string and the integer which indicates the index. So the substring will be extracting with the string starting with the given position. If we can also specify a third parameter as an integer. So that will specify the length of the returned substring. So how many characters are to be extracted, that is decided by the third parameter. If only two parameters, it will just start at the given index and it will return all the characters after that. If you want to specify the number of characters to be returned, we have to give a third parameter. Then chop will be removing all the white space characters from the end of the string. Trim will be removing all white space characters from both the ends, from the beginning and the end. Ltrim will be removing characters from the beginning alone, from the starting of a string. Then two functions for case change, string str2 lower and str2 upper. It will be used to change the string from lowercase to uppercase or uppercase to lowercase. So we will see the example. I have a string $str is equal to hello. So this is how you access the letters using the index. So str, remember this is a curly braces and give the number. So that is y, and 5 it is w. Now strlen hello world. So it has got only a single parameter hello world. So you can see the total number of characters here is 12. Then the next one is string comparison. String comparison takes two parameters, the first string and the second string. So if both the strings, here you can see both the strings are equal. If both the strings are equal, it will be giving 0 as its output. Then string compare a comma z. So here a is lower than z. So in such a scenario, it will be returning a negative value, -1. And the next one, string compare z comma a. Here z is greater than a. So that will be returning a +1 as the output. Moving on to the next function, strpos. So strpos, as I said, it will be returning the position of the second string in the first string. So here the first string is hello world and the second string is world. So it will be giving the position of the start of this string. So this is the position where it starts. So the value is 6. And strpos of hello world PHP. So here you can see that PHP is not there in this hello world string. So that will be returning a null value. So that is not displayed here. Next one is substring function. Substring function, as I mentioned earlier, it can take two parameters or 3 parameters. If the case of 2 parameters, so I have a string called environment and I have given the position as 2. So 0, 1, 2. Starting from V, it will be extracting all the remaining string values. So you can see this is the output. On the other hand, if you use the substring function with 3 parameters, starting from V, again second parameter, but this indicates the length of the string to be returned. So it will be returning 1, 2, 3. So this will be the output vir. So you can see here vir is the output of this substring. So hope that is also clear. Now I have a string with some spaces before and after it. So chop function will remove only the string, the space after this. Trim will remove both the spaces. We cannot clearly see that here, but you can use this when you apply this for programming. Then we have some other function str underscore word underscore count. This will be helping if you want to count certain words. So here the parameter is hello world, the string. It will be counting the number of words in the string. So hello world is, you can see 2 words are there. Words will be generally recognized by the delimiter space. So here we have one word hello and second word as world. So 2 words. So word count is 2. str underscore word underscore count. Then strrev, that is the reverse of a string. That is another useful function when you go for checking for palindrome or some other programs like that. So strrev will just reverse the word. So here the reverse is this. And another useful function is str underscore replace. So this has got 3 parameters. I have the so you must carefully understand the parameters. The last parameter is the target string. So I have a string hello world. The first parameter indicates a word that is to be replaced, and second parameter specifies a replacement word. So here hello world will be replaced as hello Dolly. This word will be replaced as Dolly. So this is the output hello Dolly. So hope you're familiar with some of the inbuilt string functions. So strPost function, false is interpreted as 0 in a numeric context. So this can be a problem in such scenarios. A non-occurrence may be given, give the position as 0. Generally, if it is not there, it may give a position as 0. To avoid this, use the triple equal to operator for the exact comparison. Hope you remember this operator when you studied JavaScript. So use that operator for exact comparison. Now moving on to the type conversions, we have implicit and explicit conversion based on, as you have studied in JavaScript, and this will be based on the context of the expression. Implicit type conversion, as you know, it is known as coercion. The same thing we have studied in JavaScript. This happens between integer and double types and between Boolean and other scalar types, or it can happen between numeric and string type. If the string contains E or capital E or small e, which indicates a double, then this can be converted into a number. Otherwise, it will be converted into integer. If the string, it will be converted to a double or otherwise an integer. If the string does not begin with a sign or a digit, the conversion fails and 0 is used instead. It ignores all the non-numeric characters following the string. And when a double is converted to integer, the fractional part is dropped. Rounding is not done. These are the rules of type conversions. Just understand that. Then moving on to the explicit type conversions, there are 3 different ways to convert between different data types. First one is typecasting. So typecasting is a general format we use in C or any other language. So if I have a $sum is equal to 4.77, if I want to extract this integer part, I can just use typecast this to integer. So int $sum, this will be returning the value 4 alone. So this is the first method, just by using typecasting. Secondly, we have functions available. The first int val function, double val function, and strval function. So this will be used to retrieve the corresponding values. So int val $sum will be returning the value 4. Then the third explicit conversion mechanism is using set type. We can set the type of the variable using set type function. Again, it takes two parameters. The first parameter is the target variable and the second parameter is the name of the data type. So here I have sum as 4.77. If I give $sum integer, then it will be returning 4. So please go through these explicit type conversion functions. And there are certain ways to retrieve the data type of a variable. Two ways are there. First one is to use a get type. So similar to the set type here. Here we will be setting the data types. So we can get back the data type using get type function. It will be returning integer, string, etc. Otherwise, if it is an unbound variable, if it is not having a value, it will be unknown. Then we can use the type testing functions for the corresponding type test. IsInt is one, is underscore int, is or is underscore integer, is underscore long. These three tests for the integer type. Is underscore double, is underscore float or is underscore real. These will be testing for the double types. Is underscore bool will test the boolean type and is underscore string will test for the string type. So this is how you test the data type of a function. Either use the get type function directly with the parameter as the variable, then or you can use the corresponding type testing functions. Here is an example. So here in the PHP part I have 4 variables. First one is a string variable hello. Second one is a number variable with value 5. Then I have a double 4.5 and boolean with value true. So this first part shows the output with the get type. So get type with single parameter $string, $number, $double and $bool. So this will be returning string, integer, double and boolean correspondingly. So again using the second type of function isString, it will be just returning isString. It will be returning 1, that means it is a string. So isInt, again it is 1, is double, this is a double value of a, again 1 and isBool, it will be 1. So 1 indicates a true value. So these are the two ways in which we check for the data type of a variable in PHP. PHP has the same set of assignment operators equal to, as you all know, then plus equal to, slash equal to, star equal to, etc. can be used. Those are the compound assignment statements. Then relational operators again are same, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to and double equal to. So again when these are used, again coercion happens if the operand types are not the same. If the operand types are not the same, it will be coerced to corresponding values. If we do that with string and a number, the string will be converted to a number and we will be doing a numeric comparison. So priorities for numeric comparison. If the given string cannot be converted to a number, the number will be converted to a string and do string comparison. So first priority, it will do numeric conversion. If the string, if we can't convert that string to a number, then it will do the string comparison. If both strings, both will be converted to numbers and numerical comparison will be done, we can use string comparison instead. It also has a triple equal to symbol which produces true only if both the operands are of same type and have the same value. So this will give an exact comparison, and not equal to, that is opposite of this triple equal to. We have boolean operators and, or, XOR, not, and or. So these are commonly available in any of these languages. We have these 6 boolean operators. Now we'll see how the output is specified in PHP. There are 3 ways of specifying output, as I have explained earlier: echo, print and printf. The most commonly used are echo and print. If you want to have a formatted variable, you can use the printf as you use in C programming. So we already have seen any output from a PHP script will become the part of HTML document, and there are three forms. Echo can be used using several parameters if without parenthesis. If echo is written like this, so this is first parameter, comma, I can use a second parameter here. So n number of parameters can be used with echo statement. Just write an echo, give a space, write the parameters within double quotes if you want to interpolate if any value is given in between, or single quote can also be used. We have seen that example. What is the difference between double quotes and single quotes? Then in comma separated format you can give any number of parameters to echo. If we use instead of using like this, if I use parenthesis, only a single parameter can be given. So in this case we can't give more than one parameters. So also it does not return a value. On the other hand, print statement is used to create simple unformatted output. It has a return value. That's the main difference between echo and string. Echo does not return a value. Print returns a value. 1 if the print is successful, 0 if the print is a failure. Then it takes only a single string parameter. On the other hand, if echo is used without a bracket, it can take n number of parameters. That is the second difference between echo and print. So there are two differences. First is that print returns a value, echo does not. Echo can take more than one parameters, but print can take only a single parameter. So this is the format of print statement. So print, we can use either bracket or double quotes. So double quotes to indicate a string. Just give print. If it is a number, you can directly give that. So this indicates a string. Or we can use just braces too. And if some other data type is given, it will be just coerced to a string. Print 47, the 47 will be treated as a string. So you can use brackets like this too. Variables that appear in double quoted strings are interpolated. This we have already seen. The result here will be interpolated. If you use single quotes instead, it will not be interpolated. It will be just printed as $result itself. Then the third one is printf function. Printf function is a function which is borrowed from C language itself. So this is used to control the format of the displayed output. Printf, we can give the format specifier here, then we can give the corresponding parameters. So format codes, you all remember we used in C with a % symbol followed by the field width and a type specifier. So %d for integer, %s for string, f for float, etc. And the field width can be two integers separated by a decimal point or just an integer value. Hope you remember all these, which is already there in C language. So here is an example: %10s, %6d, %5.2f. So these can be used in PHP too. So here is an example of the output statements. So strs, I have a string hello and a number 5. So this is the first method of using echo with more than one parameters. Here echo with a double quoted string, so str will be replaced. So here str is replaced as hello. If I use a single quoted string, this $str will not be interpolated. So this is just printed as $str itself. Then this HTML codes can be incorporated within the statement, so that will be taken. So here you can see a rows BR. BR is a line break statement. So after a rows, a line break happen, and is a rows will be displayed in the new line. So such codes can be incorporated by using these print output statements. Again, print also takes this HTML codes in between. You can see apples are red, oranges aren't, both are printed as two different lines. So here is a line break. Then print also can have double quotes or single quotes. So results are similar. And finally, printf uses the format modifiers. So Tuesday, it has 7 spaces, and again 30°. It is represented as an integer with the field width 3. So these are the corresponding parameters. So this one will be replaced by this value, and this format will specifier will be replaced by this value. So this is how you use outputs in PHP. This is another example of using a date function with PHP. So in case of a date function, L requests the day of a week, capital F requests the month, J requests the day of the month, small letter j requests the day of a month, and S, capital S, gets a correct ordinal suffix, that is the first, second, third, etc. So that gives the ordinal suffix of a date. So here is an example, just printing some random statements. So here is the example of printing the date. These are the parameters which we explained here. So L will be giving the day of the week. You can see today is Saturday, day of the week is Saturday. Then comma I have given here. Capital F requests the month. So month is April. And J, as I have given together, J represents the day of the month, that means 25. And S, capital S, gives the ordinal prefix. So as it is 25, it is given to TH. If it was 21, it will be given ST instead. So that will be automatically taken by the S suffix. So this is an example of how we use the date function. Date will be retrieving the current date and time.